I bolted in the direction of Heisuke's room when... Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached round 4. Heisuke! I heard a scream and I rushed to slide his door open. There he was. He was tucked into a ball, leaning his back against the wall as he clawed at himself in desperation. We're in round 4, so say it with me. We give him blood. Hold on a second. This thing scrolled wrong. Anyway, there was no time to waste. I pulled my kodachi from its scabbard on my hip and made a deep cut along the vein in my wrist. Heisuke, here, take my blood. Heisuke peeked at my bleeding wrist from the corner of his eye, quickly looking away in denial. Have we ever seen this sprite before? I don't think we've seen this sprite before, but... Huh. Please, you have to consume my blood. What are you going to do? Just suffer here? Without any more resistance, Heisuke wrapped his supple lips around my freshly opened wound. Please, there's no need to apologize. I'm fine. His tongue circled laps around the spots where blood had trickled, licking with intensity like a parched wolf drinking from a pool of water. His lengthy sips pinched my wrist, shooting a subtle pressure up the length of my arm, calming his breath. Honestly, in spite of the pain, I'd felt only relief. Relief that somehow I could soothe his agony. Whatever the circumstances were, being able to provide some form of comfort was the best feeling of all. After what felt like an eternity, Heisuke's seizure finally seemed to have calmed himself. Yeah, about that. Oh, about that. I love it when I predict the line. I've decided to embark to Sendai with you, Heisuke. And that didn't make him happy. Heisuke's jaw dropped. What do you mean, why? Sen's with him too. I need to save her. More than that, there's no way I could let you go on that trip alone. He already approved it. All he said was to look out for you, make sure you're safe. This caught Heisuke off guard, whose eyes widened at the thought of Hijikata-san approving anything. Heisuke's expression was darting in every which direction like a cornered animal, but eventually... Huh? This hadn't been the reaction I was expecting, and suddenly my heart sank into the pit of my stomach.
俺の力じゃあの人に勝てるかどうかわからねえんだ。だから。
Well, even more reason for me to watch out for you, right? Heisuke, if you keep using inferior powers, or become injured beyond what you can regenerate, then you might...
だからってお前がついてきてどうなるって言うんだよ。
It's true. On the battlefield, there's nothing I'd be able to offer you. But if we work alongside Kimigiku, then surely all of us could come up with a strategy against Sun, right? If we just put our heads together, then there's no way we could lose. So... Coming up with a coherent thought to convince Heisuke proved difficult, and he refused to look me in the eye. For a moment, he kept his lips shut, nervously twiddling his fingers, before going into a murmur.
お前は俺とは違うじゃねえか。お前は鬼かもしれねえけど、これから先も普通の人間として生きていけるんだろう。いつ灰になって消えちまうかわからねえ俺と違って。
Heisuke tightly gripped his chest, as if his hand were clutching his heart directly, and then averted his defeated gaze towards the ground. Can we use the proper words? This is a floor. This is a room. Please use the word floor and not ground. Heisuke. Whereas normally, even in the most arduous of circumstances, Heisuke's face was... cherubic? Cherubic. He seemed completely broken. He inhaled deeply, pausing for a quiet moment. Then he exhaled to calm his anxiety.
三男さんのことは俺が何とかする。勝ち目は薄いかもしれねえけど、三男さんを道連れにしてあの世に行くことぐらいならできるかもしれねえもんな。
What do you mean by take him with you?
そうだろ。この間三男さんだって言ってたじゃねえか。甘さを捨てねえ限り俺は何百回戦っても勝てねえって。あの人には命を捨てる覚悟で立ち向かわねえといけねえんだ。
Why are you so willing to die, Heisuke? Trying to justify his reasoning to myself was a task, as I refused to accept or even entertain the idea of Heisuke dead at the end of this mission. He was so youthful, with so much left to live for. He had preserved his positivity in spite of being a fury, which was more than anyone could expect.
死ぬつもりも何も。俺もう死人みてえなもんじゃねえか。ふとした瞬間に血を飲みたくて狂いそうになっちまって。そのうち俺も血を得るため江戸の人たちを殺してた羅刹隊のやつらみてえになっちまうんだ。だからお前ももうこんな俺のことなんて忘れちまえよ。
Okay, this breaks my heart. Ow! Ah! How should I respond? Well, the guide says, "Are you serious?" Heisuke, are you serious?
しょうがねえだろ。俺だって本当は死にたくなんてねえけど。戦っても戦わなくてもどうせ近いうちに死んじまうんだぜ。たった一人で三男さんを止めてこいなんて言われちまって、俺があの時落ち水を飲んだのはこのためだったなんて思いたくねえけど、でもそれは しょうがねえことだって踏ん切りをつけられるんだ。だけどもしお前を守りきれずに死なせちまったら俺どうすればいいんだよ。
Although I'd wanted to tell him that I had readily accepted the idea that I may die as well, I quickly shut my mouth. How ignorant of me to disregard the value of my life when Heisuke was struggling to keep his own.
同情なら頼むからやめてくれよ。お前はどこにでも行けるじゃねえか。俺のそばにいる必要なんてねえだろ。化け物になっちまった俺のことなんてさっさと見放しちまってくれよ。
Hearing him express such hurtful sentiments made my heart heavy, and I refused to listen any longer. I swung my hand at his face, catching him by surprise. I was hot with emotion, but all my mind could focus on was how badly my hand throbbed after striking his cheek. I choked, tears swelling behind my eyelids, equal parts furious and devastated. Don't patronize me. I'm not pitying you. You're right, Heisuke. I'm not a fury. So as far as understanding where you're coming from goes, I have no frame of reference, but never once had I thought of you becoming a monster cross my mind. So if you think I'm just going to abandon you like that, then think again!
Chizuru, お前
don't want to give up. Before I knew it, tears were streaming down my cheeks. I don't want you to die, Heisuke. All I want is for us to find a way to live our lives together in peace. Is that too much to ask? Heisuke was silent for a moment. But eventually...
そんな方法があるんなら三男さんがとっくに見つけちまってたはずだろう。俺本人が諦めてんのにどうしようって言うんだよ。探しに行こうとしたらこの足が崩れちまうかもしれねえんだぞ。
Then I'll be right there to support you.
手を伸ばそうとした時この腕が灰になっちまうかもしれねえぞ。
Then my hands will be right there to grab you, Heisuke. This was no ploy to comfort or cheer him up. But if, by some divine miracle, my words got through to him, my duty would be done. Heisuke's precautious eyes were on the verge of tears. His eyelids trembled, and he was fighting them back from blubbering completely.
バカだよお前。こんな状況でどうしてそんなに前向きでいられるんだ。
Because look at us. You're standing right in front of me. Every time we find ourselves alone, no matter what, we can be honest with each other and communicate. How could I give that up? It would ruin me, just ruin me, if you died, Heisuke.
千鶴。
Heisuke sighed in relief, grinning widely from ear to ear. It was the same endearing expression I'd become familiar with prior to his transformation.
俺、お前ほど前向きじゃねえから。羅刹になった人間を救う方法があるなんて信じられねえけど。 そう信じてるお前を信じることはできるかもしれねえ。
With a delicate touch, Heisuke nudged the surface of my cheeks, wiping my flowing tears. And then,
俺、お前のためにもう少しだけ生きてみるよ。